Hello, Mr. Fry's Algebra 1. This is March 1st, and we're taking a look at this scatter plot, finding relationship between grades and hours spent at home. The data you need, second period people. This is the data, and you can copy this down. We have the time spent on the phone, the hours in a day, that's going to be our X value, and then we have the grade in the class percentage, that's your Y value. So go ahead and freeze this and pause this and get that information down if you're in second period. If you're in eighth period, here is your data for eighth period. Now, once you have that data down, what you're going to do is you're going to create a scatter plot of the data in this from the table. Okay, so you're going to create a scatter plot. So, like if I was looking at second period stuff, I started with my Y, the percentages, and then the X, the hours are down here. I went from hours 1. I went 1 to 10, but for second period, you're going to need to go to 18. So you're going to need to continue it for second period. You're going to need to go 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. For eighth period, I only went to 10. And then I started at 40%, and you could leave that for second period too. So 40% I started for eighth period. You could leave that for second period also. And then start plotting your points. Find so like the first one, if you're in second period, 15 and 83.8. So you would go up to 15 wherever your 15 is, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. If your 15's here, and then you'd go 83.8, which would be, somewhere around in here, and you just put your points. So just scatter plot. It doesn't need to be an art project. Just make it look as clean as possible. Do your period only, please. Do your period only. Now, the best line of fit correlation coefficient for the data. So you're going to use your graphing calculator, or you could just do a line of best fit, Google it, and there's calculators online that will give you the equation. I'm kind of giving it to you. If you're in eighth period, it ends up being Y equals, and it shows up on your calculator as AX plus B. You just substitute the A value in, which is 0.18, and then the B value was 71.8 for the eighth period data. For the second period data, you'll just need to add in all these X values and all these Y values. If you're using a graphing calculator, these are from this page from last week, and then even I think the week before we're using this. How to use the calculator. You're only going to do step 1 and step 3. Okay, you're only going to follow those steps. If you want to, look at mine, I don't know if you can read that. You could maybe, snapshot that and then focus in on it. But you have access to this paper that you can print out if you're doing this at home too. So just step 1, step 3. You don't need to do step 2 in order to figure this out. It'll give you this. The correlation coefficient is going to be it's going to be what's called R. Okay, on those steps it tells you about that, and it's going to show up on your calculator as R. If you're doing a online, just working it out on an online calculator, it'll just tell you. You could look up Google correlation coefficient calculator and plug this information in, and it will do it for you. The type of correlation, there really is no correlation. It's kind of like all over the place. You'll see that when you plot points. It's going to be, there's no real good best line of fit. For eighth period folks, here is your equation that you would add in the information. Your X value is right here. For B, they give you a Y value. They give you 89. So you would do the same thing, second period folks. You would do the same thing. You would take your equation that you get from adding your second period data in, and then you would put that 3.15 in for X, and then just work the problem out, whatever Y equals, you would write it down. And then you would do the same thing. You would put the y in, this 89 in for your y value, and then you would solve for x. And so you would figure out, what your x equals in the end for letter B, for 4B. Hopefully this helps. If you need more than that, let me know, especially you second period people, because I could, give you a video and just of me going through the steps on the graphing calculator if need be. But like I said, you Google a line of best fit calculator, or you Google a correlation coefficient. That's what I do a lot of times when I don't have a graphing calculator with me, and it'll do it right there for you. Okay, good luck.